Now, Christians have been urged to renew their commitment to support and cherish the elderly in our communities, ensuring that they are not forgotten or cast aside in their old age. The call was made by Father Gaetano Ochieng, the chaplain of the Laity of the Archdiocese of Tororo. This was during the Tadal monthly Mass held at St. Kizito in Bugoloobi, right here in Kampala. The Tororo Archdiocese Development Association of the Laity celebrated the monthly Mass in connection with the World Day for Grandparents and the Elderly. The Mass was animated by the parishes of Mulaji, Sacred Heart and Bududa. The main celebrant of the Mass was Father Gaetano Ochieng, the parish priest of Mulaji Parish and the chaplain of the Laity of the Archdiocese of Tororo. Among the clergy present was the chaplain of Tadal, Father Phil Podi, Father John Baptist Masai, the deputy director of St. Augustine Institute in Zambia. The congregation included Christians from outside the Archdiocese's immediate area, including Kampala, Entebbe, and the neighboring districts. In his homily, Father Gaetano Ochieng drew from the first reading in 2 Kings 42:44, which tells of a man bringing 20 loaves of fresh-baked bread to the man of God Elisha and was instructed to pass it around for the people to eat. Father Gaetano emphasized from this scripture the importance of giving thanksgiving to the Lord for every first harvest and the blessings upon our lives.
Food offerings that the Lord had given to him, and made loaves of bread from it as the law of the Lord required. From every first harvest, from the fruit of the soil that we are born, we till it. It gives us food to feed us, to feed our families, to feed our people, to feed human beings and animals. Since we did not make the soil, since we have no power of what comes out of the garden, we only plant the seed and we wait after weeding to garner the harvest. It's required that if the Lord gives you opportunity to produce from the fruit of your own energy, but from the grace of God and the will of God, at the end of the harvest, you must give glory and never take what you have harvested for granted. Be it the garden, the soil where you plant the seed, be it the work you do from your own intelligence and training, and you earn your salary. That same job you are doing is a grace and a blessing and the will of God for you. Because what you do in the office you do, even if you are 10, you are not doing exactly the same thing. From the time of planting to putting banana. So this man who took his offerings present the fruit of human hands, that at the end of the day, any person who has got the right catechism about the love of God and the food which comes out of God's love from the garden where we out of our sweat we have planted, is duty bound to give glory by giving thanksgiving offerings to who? To God.
Father Gaetano called on Christians to share the blessings of knowledge, gifts, and resources that the Lord has bestowed upon them. He urged them to use their different talents and work together, complementing one another in their differences to create a complete world.
The blessings we have that God put in our hands are not meant fully for us alone. They are meant to be shared with our family members. They are meant to be shared with our parents. They are meant to be shared with our clan, with the people from our villages, with brothers and sisters who meet in communion, as the second reading says today, out of love and pure love of God and love for one another. God has made us here different so that in our differences, the world is complete.
He also urged Christians to plan for their old age by planting seeds today. He emphasized the importance of parenting children in a way that will do good to them in their old age. Father Gaetano highlighted the Holy Pope Francis' message not to forget the elderly and to ensure that they are not neglected.
That's why the Pope in his message, which was shared with I think most of you, because I also received from this group, emphasizes that we must prepare out of what God has given to us. In our life, we must be disposed not to forget the old people. 2, we must prepare for old age. When I talk about water tanks, when I talk about toilets, when I talk about building at home, when I talk about visiting the grave of our grand and grandfather, some of us are lucky or unlucky, we have never seen our grandfather, depending on how we are attached to them. But some of us, we are having now a generation of people who don't know where we come from. Let us not cause that in our families. Because then, if you came to Kampala to search and you got the animal and you roasted and built a house and remained, remember, this is not your home, but this is a home to your children.
Charles Adoy, head of the Men's Guild, stated that as elders, they are responsible for the proper grooming of children. He called on parents and elders to come together, recognizing that the church is the only solution to bring up righteous children.
And we the elders really appreciate what the church is doing, because everything comes from us. As elders, we have to groom our children well, especially in the church, following up and fearing God mostly, because it is the church which is ultimate in a family. The church now has to improve, as improves me as an elder, to make sure that all the time I make sure I'm with the children, bringing them in good faith, fearing God, and respecting us as parents. So it is important for us as elders to be together with our children at all time, knowing them that they cannot do anything without the church. And it is a church which is more for all our souls, especially our elders, because without the church we are nothing. And once the church focuses at bringing up the youths, then we the elders also have no challenge in future, because we have already light to follow. That is.
The celebration concluded with blessing of the elder and a call to cherish the elder in our communities, ensuring that they are not forgotten or cast aside in their old age.
Yeah, and thank you for being exemplary. Thank you for raising us. Thank you for what you have done. May God bless you, and may you continue to bless your grandchildren also. Yes.
The theme chosen by the Holy Father Pope Francis for this year's celebration is "Do not cast me off in my old age," derived from the Psalm 71:9. This theme calls for attention to the loneliness experienced by many elder persons, often victims of throwaway culture.
May the Spirit of the Lord from heavens come down.
Nora Osende for UCTV News.